All right, everybody, welcome to the Fantasy Six Pack Network. My name is Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixPack.net. With me tonight, doing the Week 10 waivers, Mr. Corey Pieper. What's going on, man?
Not much. Hanging here with you. Always good time on every Monday night talking about the six best guys and rehashing a little football. Watch a little Monday Night Football in the background. I enjoy it every week, brother.
Yeah, man, yeah. A little slow of a game so far. Still early in the second quarter.
Mhm.
See what happens here, but right now, not a whole lot going on here on this offense. I know Uh, McMichael was McMillan, sorry,
Yeah.
was
Previous
ruled out of
waiver
this
wire
game.
guy.
So
That was
that
late in the
one,
week too. That sucked.
yeah. So I know he's not going to be on this top 10 list or top 6 list for Week 10. I mean, but out of the remaining receivers, like if McMillan is out long term, like who do you like the best out of these guys?
I'm playing Sterling Shepard in a league tonight.
Right,
I
that's
think
kind
that's
of
where
where I
I'm
was
going with
going.
is Sterling Shepard. We'll see. I know that I saw that he had a carry earlier. I have not seen if he caught any passes. I
He's
have
got
not watched,
1 for
but I think
13 off 1 target,
one
but
for
it's
13.
still
Okay.
early, so yeah, I
Just solidifies K Dot into me. Top
oh my
five tight
gosh.
end. Top
Yeah,
five
he's
tight end going forward,
got
man.
4 targets, 3 for 22 already. The problem is, like, defenses know that too,
Yeah.
and so is he a big enough playmaker to counter all the extra coverage he's gonna see? Time will tell, but that's let's just roll right into it here, and our first up is Xavier Legette. So we're seeing here on the screen, Mr. Deontay Johnson, obviously traded to the Ravens, but he was out the previous week already.
Mhm.
So the last week and this week's stats are up on the screen here. So he's seen a healthy amount of workload. The production's kind of there. What
It's
what are we
kinda
like
there. It's
here?
kinda there. It's touchdown based right now. He's
Right.
having some decent games, but it's all touchdown dependent, which is not what we love to see. That's not exactly what we want, but 7 targets, 6 targets. I think this is the classic ascending rookie, though. He's going to keep getting more targets in this offense. They may trade away Adam Thielen this week. I do not see Adam Thielen coming in and taking away more of Xavier Legette's target share here. And if you're getting targets, this team is going to throw the ball all the time because they're going to be down. I know they're getting Jonathan Brooks back, possibly. That we'll see exactly if it happens or not. I just think this is the type of one where you got it. It's a growth stock. You take your shot now, and if next week Xavier Legette goes out, gets more 10 targets, brings on instead of 33 yards, it's 65 yards, and he catches another touchdown. That doesn't surprise me. I'm taking my shot right now.
Yeah, it's iffy. I get it. It's the Panthers. It's hard to get excited about a lot of these guys. But at this point, we're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel to some degree. It waivers at this point. There's not a lot of guys that are really popping off these last few weeks on waivers. So you kind of take what you can get. We're replacing injured guys. We're just hoping, almost like back end of the bench. Let's just hope one randomly just start seeing a ton of volume. Legette's already kind of seeing a lot, so hopefully the team gets a little better here. We got Jamie in the chat here. What's going on, man?
Yeah, man.
Dylan, what's up? And Chad as well. He's very down on
Go
Legette. His targets
down.
could go down. He played so poorly. I mean, was there anybody else though? That's kind of the thing here. Right? I mean, was there anybody
Yeah,
that like
Jatavian, he's got the
thrived?
one down there a little lower. Jatavian Sanders has been playing better. I agree with that. I think if you subscribe to the Fantasy Six Pack, the full one, you'll see Jatavian Sanders has been in the best of the rest section for a few weeks. I like
Mhm.
Jatavian Sanders too, but I think that I think that we're going to see Xavier Legette just keep ascending a little bit more in this offense. And if you want to have a chance on him, stash him on your bench. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you, and of course we got Kyle Center over here as well. Jason,
Yeah,
post by
that's
rookie
true.
bump incoming for the get. Yeah, I mean, I
Sure could
think
be.
that's kind of what we're looking for here. As you said it, like you kind of see a lot of these rookies sort of get a late season boost, and I think we're going to talk about another one later. But let's jump into our next up here, and that's going to be Jerry Jeudy. Very familiar name to a lot of people. Not sexy stats, but I think we've talked about a lot of these Cleveland Browns the last couple of weeks, and for good reason. Jameis Winston really changes the dynamic of this offense. It's going to be ugly at times, but again, you look at that targets, the number of targets there, and the thing is, like, everybody's getting a lot of targets. So like, he's third on the pecking order, maybe, but it's still working. Maybe fourth if you add Njoku, but like, there's so many pass attempts in this offense with Jameis there. I think that's kind of why you like him, right?
Yeah, they threw the ball 46 times yesterday, man. 46. When Deshaun Watson was there, I think they peaked at 24. So if you're throwing the ball 46
and that's without
times,
Chubb,
and that's yeah, exactly.
right?
Here's where I'm at with this whole passing game of Cleveland. Njoku is just a start because of the target volume. He's a start. At this point, we've seen it 3 straight weeks out of Cedric Tillman. That's a start. I'm in. I don't really have a whole lot of concerns. He's probably going to rank. You do the rankings. I'm assuming somewhere between 15 to 25 most of the time. And then I think one of Jerry Jeudy and Elijah Moore can have success every week. Elijah Moore still had, I think, 9 or 10 targets yesterday. He only brought in.
Didn't do anything with it. It was weird.
He just didn't do anything with it. So if you're going to get that type of target volume, you should be on a fantasy team, especially in a PPR league. That's another. Those are a 12-point and a 14-point week back to back with Jameis Winston there. Take your chances.
Yeah. Jamie, I feel you. Don't put all your chips on any Cleveland player, is what he's saying. I feel you, man. I think a lot of these guys, unfortunately, are replacing injured players. Or kind of in desperation mode, right? You're kind of hoping for the best with some of these guys. Bye week fill-ins, that kind of thing. He's saying Hopkins is
couldn't quite get in there. What is he at, about the
looking like he's having a pretty good game so far. So maybe there's actually something to it. I know I was a big I was like a Juju there for a while, but
yeah,
he's been hurt, but it looks like maybe Hopkins is gonna turn into something that Mahomes can trust here. We'll see. Time will tell. But all right. Next up, Jalen Tolbert.
Look, we're at the end of the year, man. This is I didn't love my own recommendation here, but he's on the field so much. Like,
yeah,
he's just out there. Even when CeeDee Lamb was healthy, he's on the field every bit as much. Now you're gonna funnel targets to CeeDee Lamb if he's healthy. I get that. Whether it's, I think I saw officially now Dak's out for a few weeks with his hamstring injury,
and CeeDee Lamb's week to week.
Okay, well,
so
look, do I love that Cooper Rush is going to be his quarterback? No, I don't. But would you be shocked if CeeDee Lamb doesn't play this week? Jalen Tolbert's got to be getting 10 targets. I don't know how he doesn't. There's just nobody left on this offense. So if you are desperate, a little bit of a deeper league, if you're going to give me that type of target volume, he caught a touchdown from Cooper Rush yesterday. Other than Rico Dowdle and Jake Ferguson, there's nobody else left over here. I think that's where we're at.
Pretty ugly, man.
It's there's been a couple of rough weeks in a row here. And that's because I don't want to knock out wood here. That's because there hasn't been a lot of injuries, which is great. So there hasn't been a lot of new opportunities developing for running backs or receivers. So Jalen Tolbert.
There's been a few injuries. It's just there's not a lot of like fantastic names.
Sure.
Popping.
You're trying to will Zach Wilson.
What? Chad, no.
We're trying to will the Zach Wilson era into existence.
I want whatever you have, Chad, because that's too much. No, thank you. I do not want. I'm a Cowboys fan, or a Cowboys hater. I mean, I'm a Commanders fan, and I don't even know if I could wish that on my worst enemy. No, thanks. Next up, Taysom Hill. Yeah, dude, he plays every position. I couldn't grab the stat line here from our good friends over Fantasy Data, so I had to write it down. I guess there's no box score for him. It's all over the place, but just again used everywhere. This is Swiss Army knife, and this offense is banged up big time. So
at this point, he's their second. I mean, he's basically their backup running back, Alvin Kamara. If Kamara got hurt, Jamal Williams is hurt, Kendry Miller's hurt. Taysom Hill could get 15 carries a week right now. That's where we're at.
He's going to get a bunch of.
They have no receivers left. All the receivers are hurt. Rashid Shaheed's
out.
And it's Tipton. It's Marquez Valdez Scantling, and we're at Taysom Hill. and Juwan Johnson. That's what's left in this offense. I know they just dropped Dennis Allen finally today, about time, but I don't think someone who's going to take over this role is going to come in and switch this role very much. I still expect you're going to get 10 touches, which is weird to say out of a tight end, but you're going to get 10 touches out of a tight end. He vultured a touchdown yesterday. The last 2 weeks that he started and finished, he's had at least 14 fantasy points. He's a top 10 tight end. If he's available on your waiver wire, go out and get him.
Yeah, I hated doing it, but I ranked him right around that spot. I think it was like 11 this week.
Right in that area.
And he probably finished.
I think he's
probably going to finish a little higher than that.
Yeah.
This week, but yeah, man, this is. I love to hate Taysom Hill is pretty much how that relationship goes between me and him in the rankings. I just despise it. The crappy part is there are some formats where he's only quarterback. You can't use him there. You can't use him there, unfortunately. But he's tight end only. Do not go after him in quarterback leagues. Trey Benson, here's the other rookie that I alluded to earlier, who I was screaming from the mountaintops to Mark a couple of weeks ago, and he unfortunately did not write the article. He didn't get around to it for the stash. I said, this is the perfect, like, stash him on your bench. Maybe something happens to Connor. Maybe he just starts picking up steam. It happened to be a week late, but I think that's what we're kind of seeing here.
He's a handcuff right now, right? He's still a handcuff. James Conner's still the guy. James Conner had 18 carries, 107 yards in that game. But you said it. Trey Benson came with draft capital, highly regarded guy. He's picking up a little more. That touchdown, his first career touchdown, came in the first half. It was not the game ended up being a 20-point blowout. But he was in the first half. He scored that touchdown when the game was 1 point difference. So I think he's picking up more work. Like you said, James Conner is far from a beacon of health. The Cardinals are playoff contention. I think they're going to try to get Trey Benson more involved here, along with James Conner. This could have been one of 5 different stashes, though, like that you should have on your team. If you have James Conner, there 100% you need to have Trey Benson at this point. We are to the point of the season where it is handcuff season with these high upside rookies.
Absolutely.
Trey, if you have James Conner, get Trey Benson. If you have James Cook, get Ray Davis right now. These guys are starting to produce, and if your team,
I'm scooping up all the handcuffs for people.
Exactly.
This is the time to do it, because what's going to happen is a couple of these star running backs that people were leaning on to get into the playoffs are going to get hurt, and they're going to go to the waiver wire. And they're going to go, damn,
he's gone.
He's already gone. Like what happened? Who would have stashed him? This guy. That's or right. You, because you're listening to this, hopefully, or reading Corey's awesome article every week over on the site. So, yeah, I mean, I know Chad's sitting over here saying, Benson got in during garbage time. I don't totally disagree, but like you said, the touchdown did come earlier in the game. So that wasn't happening earlier. Like, Benson wasn't seeing the field at all. Nope. So there's at least some momentum going in the right direction here. We're not saying pick up Trey Benson and put him in your starting lineup next week. Like, that'd be suicide.
Do you remember the slow growth of Tyrone Tracy a month ago? He started to get a little bit of work. Devin Singletary got hurt. He took the job. Now you have a top 20 back every week. This is the slow rookie starting to get a few more carries. And I think that just keeps going from here. Okay, the DeMarcado being featured he had one run that they set a record on for the longest run in what was I forget the stat. It was like the longest run inside of 30 seconds to end a half in 50 years.
53 yards. And I get it. So DeMarcado is probably more of like a passing down back right now. Probably a better blocker than Benson. Probably one of the big reasons why Benson has not seen the field as much, right? And we get that. Chad, you can't honestly tell me that if Connor goes down, you believe DeMarcado is going to fill him in. There's no way. That's why they drafted Benson.
Yep.
Like, Benson's going to be the actual handcuff. DeMarcado's role will not change, in my opinion. That's how this is going to play out. We do have a question if you want to answer it before we go up to the next one here. Pareco, I butchered that. Trade Dell for Chase Brown. So
Yes.
in a vacuum, I would say yes. However, read the rest. I have Henry, Pollard, Dowdell, and my receivers are Neighbors, Evans, Dell, and Waddle.
Oh, well,
I don't know if you
no,
can, man.
yeah. In a vacuum, I want Chase Brown over Tank Dell, but you have Derrick Henry's a stud, Tony Pollard's a stud, Rico Dowdle's picking up more volume every week. He looks great. Neighbors, the talent is 100% there, but uh, at least in the first half yesterday, I was saying Neighbors looks like Michael Pittman version with and last night actually, but Anthony Richardson, where they just weren't throwing the ball. Evans is hurt, and you can't trust Jalen Waddle at all. You can't do it. There's absolutely no way you
No,
can trust Jalen Waddle. So I think I'm keeping
sucks.
Tank Dell.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think unfortunately you have to do this. I mean, maybe you can package like Dell and like I don't know, Dell and Waddle and get Brown and like a lesser receiver, possibly. Maybe you can swing it that way. I can't tell you to just do a 1-for-1 trade there.
No.
It hurts the composition of your team too much. So
I want
all
Chase
right.
Brown though. If you can get Chase Brown, get Chase Brown. He looks like a
Yeah.
complete stud. And Zach Moss with his neck injury, that does not sound promising. So
No, they're basically saying like I mean he's out. What's the word? Basically there's no timetable. I forgot the word right now, but all right,
definitely.
Keaton Mitchell, Baltimore Ravens running back. So there's really no stats here, but just a quote from Lamar. I'll read it. Lamar Jackson weighed in on whether Keaton Mitchell looks as fast and whether he looks bigger. Yes to the first, no to the second. He looks the same. He looks the same. Sure. But Keaton Mitchell's solid. I mean, when he was on the field last year, man, he made some plays. He was electric.
What's a Devon Achane light, right? That's what it was. People were excited. Keaton Mitchell looked awesome. He suffered a massive knee injury, which sucked, but he's rehabbed it. He practiced in full all of last week, and the Ravens play on Thursday night this week. So I suppose it's possible he's not activated, but if he's activated, and if he can just take, he's not going to take any of Derrick Henry's workload. That's not going to happen. But if he can take Justice Hill's, just some passing downs, get him in space. Just when I was looking him up to do the waiver wire article, and I saw some of the highlights from last year, and you just remember, I think he averaged 8 yards a carry. He just picks up so many chunky plays. It looks like Devon Achane or Jahmyr Gibbs. So this Ravens offense is getting even better, and they're going to blow people out. Yesterday they didn't have Keaton Mitchell, they didn't have Deontay Johnson, and they put up 41. So they're going to have huge leads. And I think if you told me I was getting 10 carries or 10 touches a week out of Keaton Mitchell, I think that's, well, as we hit bye weeks, you could play that as a flex because he and 10 touches, he could put up 60 yards and a touchdown. Take a chance.
Yeah, there's some ugly bye weeks still upcoming. So a little follow up here to Pareko's trade question. If I could get Sutton off waivers, would they change your mind? Maybe.
Yeah.
But I also wonder who you're dropping to get Sutton because you're doing a 1-for-1 trade, so now you're having to drop somebody to get Sutton. So who are you dropping? Like, do you have worse players on your team you're not telling us about, which is totally fine. But that's what I would have to know. Like,
would you drop Jalen Waddle for Cortland Sutton, Joe? Would you drop Jalen Waddle for Cortland Sutton? I think that's where we're at. I don't know. I have just no confidence in him anymore. He's constantly in and out of the lineup every week. It seems like he's hurt.
Come on, Jamie, you know the answer to that one. I'm not even putting that on the screen.
Yeah. I'm not talking about my love here for Cortland Sutton, but I have no confidence in Jalen Waddle.
I mean, honestly, man, like even Tyreek hasn't really like blown up since the return.
That whole offense is based around Devon Achane right now. He is their best receiving option too. So top 20 the last 2 weeks. That's awesome.
That's bold,
yesterday, man. He delivered yesterday. That's great, dude.
Yeah, that's bold. I don't think I did that, but
passing touchdown to Bo Nix, contested catch.
He's getting up there. I do know that. He's around the top 30 for me, but it's rough, man. So Waddle was still way up there. He's definitely gonna start dropping hard for me. Actually, no, Waddle and Sutton were pretty close. I mean, I get it. I don't know, man. It's so tough because you still like the Miami offense overall better. It's just the receivers just really aren't doing it. But let's get to our. Actually, I guess that's it.
it.
That's it.
Did
That's
it
it.
all.
So sorry, I thought there was one more.
No.
So all right. Well, we got one more. Would you
More questions here?
trade
Let's do it.
KPKP? Would you trade CMC for Jefferson? I don't know if he would do it, but I need wide receivers. I got a lot of running backs.
If you need wide receiver and you can get Justin Jefferson I would
Yeah,
do.
I
It
would
sucks
pull.
because now we might actually get him back right now. But if you have receiver or you have running backs and you need a receiver, go get Justin Jefferson. Yeah, I would do that.
I would do it. And yeah, Pareko is saying over here he's got Komet. It's the second tight end. He would probably be my worst player to drop. It's super flex, so my other players are Daniels, Lamar, Ferguson, besides who I mentioned. Yeah, I'm okay dropping. Although Ferguson without Dak at this point now is kind of like that actually might
that's
be the
a
drop.
starting tight end.
Komet and Ferguson are his tight ends. Dude, you might have to drop Ferguson without.
I want to see how that works.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't trust Komet. I don't trust. That's another team. Who do we trust in the Bears passing offense right now? DJ Moore looks terrible, or Caleb Williams, I should say, is hurting all of them. So it's hard to trust anyone in the Bears passing offense too.
Yeah. So he's saying he's got CMC, Brian Robinson, Dobbins, and Tracy. His wide receiver one is Lad McConkey with Evans on his bench. Ouch.
Yeah, I would get
that's rough, man. If you can get Jefferson for CMC, I mean, Robbins, Dobbins, and Tracy, they're gonna have some boom bust weeks. Hopefully Robinson comes back healthy soon. I think you can use that though. I mean, CMC would be massive. I mean, you get Jefferson, it's almost as good. So I'm cool with it.
So that last one there, do I think Nico Collins' production will be right back? I do.
Yeah, absolutely. If not, and then some, because they don't have Diggs.
No Stephon Diggs. I think he can win at both the intermediate and deep part of the field there. And it did not. It sounded like it was with the utmost precautions that they even put him on the injured reserve. So I'd have almost no questions that he's going to be back after next week and back doing what he was doing. So
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Jamie's here in the comments saying Nico's gonna be top 5 the rest of the season. Absolutely agree.
100%.
So this is Xavier Worthy toast. I never really liked Xavier Worthy, so I don't know.
I hope you sold Xavier Worthy after week 1 when he had those like 2 touchdowns on 2 touchdowns.
Right.
That's when you should have sold Xavier Worthy.
Like 3 touches every single week until like a couple weeks, like 2 weeks in a row, he had like 8. And now they brought in Hopkins, and now he's right back to where he was. So yeah. All right. That is it for the Week 10 waivers. Thank you, Corey, for sharing your wisdom with us. And go ahead and check out his Waiver Wire article over on Fantasy Six Pack. And become an all access member. Use promo code F6P F6P NFL 24 to save 15%. Sorry, I'm thinking of my Twitter handle. I don't know what I'm doing right now. And yeah, you get access to his full article where he goes another like 30 plus players deep every single week, and then access to all of us over on Discord and a whole lot more. So check it out. Thanks everybody for watching, and jump into the comments. We will do it again next week. See ya.
See ya.